smile down inside you.
If you like Brian Kemp, you're going to love Rick Jackson.
Rick Jackson's been a good supporter of mine.
Yeah, he's a donor.
Well, yeah, he's a donor. He's got a great story, and I've kind of felt like for really 2 years now that race is right for political outsiders, especially somebody that could sell fun.
Rick Jackson, a conservative outsider who will make Georgia proud, just like Brian Kemp.
Rick Jackson's been a good supporter of mine. He's got a great story.
Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't share what I'm about to say all around the state of Georgia, then you're in the bag for Rick Jackson. Period. End of story. Let me take you back. Did you hear that ad? So let me tell you what just happened. I talked about earlier, caller called in, I think it was Shane, and asked, hey, do you think the governor's going to endorse anybody? And I said, no, I think the governor's going to stay out of it until the general. And someone called in to Colby, who's on the board, who's I'm hoping and praying will be my producer one day. They called in to her and they said, hey, tell Shelley, Governor Kemp just endorsed Rick Jackson. And I'm thinking to myself, really? I didn't hear anything about that. So I Googled it. This is the ad that they're talking about. Now, let me explain how insidiously evil this campaign is. Oh, I'm so sorry, because I really like Rick Jackson. But this is as dishonest and lying and cheating as it comes. Let me explain. The first lying and cheating that this campaign... Oh, I'm so heated right now. Let me tell you the first lie that this campaign did. Months ago, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones was asked by a very prominent media member, and I love her so much I'm not going to say her name, but she knows exactly who I'm talking about. He was asked to sit down and do a kind of infomercial kind of promo for Rick Jackson and what he does in foster care. This was months ago. Then he was called back and said, hey, Burt, can you come back and redo some of the sound that you dropped talking about Rick and his foster care stuff? Burt Jones says, no problem. Rick's a great guy. He's doing great work with the foster care children. This was when Rick Jackson and his team knew they were going to be running, but no one else did. So Burt went back in, sat down, and that was the ad that dropped in October, November, December. Dropped in February and March, of where you saw Burt Jones saying Rick Jackson's a great guy. You remember that ad? That ad was made because Burt Jones was told by a prominent media member, hey, do this for foster care kids. And then he clipped it and made an ad like Burt Jones was out here touting Rick Jackson as governor. That was insidious and evil and disgustingly lying enough. This ad that I just played for you, let me play this again. I want to explain to everybody. If this is who you like, you can have it. If you like lying, cheating to win a gig, if you like people on a campaign team that will make an ad so insidiously evil and outright lies, you go ahead and vote for whom you want to vote for. Me, I'm going with Burt. And if Burt loses based on what I'm seeing right now, I'm out. I'm out. Do you understand me? I'm out. Listen to, I want to play this ad again, and then I'm going to tell you where it came from. And then you make the decision on whether you want to stay with Rick Jackson or not.
If you like Brian Kemp, you're going to love Rick Jackson.
Rick Jackson's been a good supporter of mine.
Yeah, he's a donor.
Well, yeah, he's a donor. He's got a great story. And I've kind of felt like for really 2 years now that race is right for political outsiders, especially somebody that could sell fun.
Rick Jackson, a conservative outsider who will make Georgia proud, just like Brian Kemp.
Rick Jackson's been a good supporter of mine. He's got a great story.
Now, that was a sit-down with Politico magazine at the Masters. Let me say that again. That was a sit-down interview with the governor of Georgia at the Masters. If you see the ad, you see Brian Kemp has on golf gear, and you can see the other man has a Masters shirt on. Brian Kemp was asked about the governor's race. He spoke highly of Burt Jones, very highly of Burt Jones. So what did this evil, lying, cheating Rick Jackson campaign do? anything to win, right? They clipped what Brian Kemp said about Rick Jackson and made it an ad, just like they did with Burt Jones earlier in the year. Ladies and gentlemen, you do what you want to do. But if you could trust people like this to run the state of Georgia, you go right ahead. You go right ahead. And I will tell you right here, right now, if you elect Rick Jackson as a nominee for governor of Georgia, I'm Team Keisha for the next 6 months. Period. End of story. Full stop. That ad is deceptive. A person called in and said, hey, Shelly, tell Shelly. What'd they say, Colby? Tell me what they said when they called in.
They said, tell Shelly that Kemp had got Rick Jackson.
Right. Based on that ad. That person heard that ad and said, oh, yeah, Kemp already endorsed Rick Jackson. It's a lie. It's an outright fundamental lie. And I'm not saying that because I like Burt. I'm saying that because I don't like people that lie. If you're going to lie to me to win the job, I can't trust anything you say after that. Not a single word. If you're going to tell me something, if you're going to clip something from 3 months that you did in the fall, asking the lieutenant governor of Georgia, hey, can you step in and sit down and talk about how great foster care is and what Rick Jackson does with the foster care children? And Burt Jones at the time, he says, oh, well, of course I will. Of course I will. Who wouldn't? And then you call him back, all smiley, all nice. You know who you are. You call, oh, hey, Burt, we just need to get some more sound from you for the foster care stuff. And then you make that an ad in February and January, acting like Burt Jones was endorsing you for governor while running against you. You're deceptive people. I don't want deceptive people in the governor's mansion. Brian Kemp wasn't deceptive. Sonny Perdue wasn't deceptive. Nathan Deal weren't deceptive. Now, many of you out there, you MAGA people who think Brian's a rhino, okay, you can feel that way. But he's not. It's a good governor, greatest governor we've had in modern times. They weren't deceptive. This is deceptive. So you all who like Rick Jackson, you go right ahead. But this show, the Shelley Winter Show from 7 to 9 p.m., after Tuesday the 16th, if Burt Jones is not the nominee, I'm Team Keisha for the rest of the summer. You can not listen. You can tune me out. You can scrub your Facebook. You can take my number off the thing. You can do whatever you please. I'm out. I'm out. That is as deceptive as it comes. Why didn't you make an ad with Burt Jones talking, with Brian Kemp talking about Burt Jones? He spoke just as highly of Burt Jones. Why? Because he's been a lieutenant governor for both your term, for your full term. You guys have worked together to get stuff done. Promises made, promises kept. That's why Brian Kemp, in the true leadership style that he has, he's staying out of it. And I don't know what's transpiring right now between the Kemp camp and the Jackson camp, but I'm sure if I know Brian Kemp very well, I know he's outraged right now. I know he's outraged right now. I know he doesn't see this as politics as usual because it's deceptive. It's lying. And if you lie to win a race, boy, I can only imagine what you'll do when you get there. You'll run roughshod over all of us. Burt Jones for governor, simply because he's not fake and he's not a liar and he doesn't have a lying team around him. This is disgusting what you guys did. This is desperation what you guys did. I know you need to save your $75, $80 million investment, but God dog it. Jesus Christ. Get your minds right. Get your morality around you. This is disgusting. And Burt, if I'm you and I'm advising your campaign, I clip Brian Kemp talking about you and play the same ad and let people see that Brian Kemp was just being a governor, being a leader. It's disgusting. I'm going to play Beautiful Ones by Prince because the thing kept moving.